Today my group's going to be taking you on an exploration of cultures and foods across the world. We chose different foods and cultures from different countries and different continents, so you could see just different foods from all different regions around the world. Natalia is going to be doing Peru, which is a country on the west side of South America. Chad's going to be doing the Mediterranean culture of Greece, and Hitoshi is going to be doing Japan, and Dakota is finally going to be doing America, which I'm going to also do some of. Everyone eats food around the world, so we just thought that it would be a good culture, it would be a good thing to learn about. So, Natalia, it's up to you.
I'm going to be talking about the Peruvian culture. Turns out I'm actually Peruvian. So, the Andes region in Peru, it goes back to the 5th millennium BC. An important crop in Peruvian culture is potatoes. Peru has over 200 different species and types of potatoes. They vary in shapes, sizes, and colors. Most of these different varieties are found in the mountains up in Peru. Peruvians incorporate potatoes a lot into their diet. It's their main crop. Another main crop that Peru is known for is the asparagus. They're actually the #1 exporters of asparagus in the world. Different kinds of crops that they have in Peru are also going to be the Peruvian coffee, which is really good waking up in the morning. The quinoa is actually one of my favorites. I really like to incorporate that into my diet. They come in different colors. There's red, there's black, there's white quinoa. And what quinoa actually is it's called a super grain, and it is very high in protein. It is actually considered a complete protein because it has all 8 amino acids that your body needs. It's a great substitute for pastas and rice. I really like it. You can use it in a bunch of different ways. It boils just like rice or pasta would, grows 3 times its size, and it's very light and fluffy in texture, and it has a mild nutty flavor to it. What I like to add to my quinoa is you can make salads with it. You can add all kinds of veggies, spinach, spices that you'd like. I like to eat mine with some spinach, a couple of chopped veggies, and a little bit of lime juice. It's really good. About 500 years ago, the Spaniards actually introduced beef and chicken to the Peruvian culture. There's a lot of chicken and beef used in the foods. They're actually in the main courses a lot, prepared differently, as well with fish. Peru has about 40 different ports for fishing, and in those ports they catch about 50 different species of fishes. That includes cod, yellowfish, swordfish, tilapia, tuna, a couple of others that I can't really think of the top of my head. But with fish, one of my favorite dishes is actually called ceviche. And a lot of people would kind of be grossed out with how ceviche is described to be. It is actually raw fish cooked in lime juice. I really like it because lime juice is really good with fish, in my opinion, and it cooks it really well. What we add to it is also red onions and corn. You can also add other kinds of seafood like shrimp, octopus, and squid. It is usually served with sweet potato, baked sweet potato over the top of the ceviche. And then also it can be served with what we call canchitas, which are corn kernels, but instead of them being popped like popcorn, they're actually toasted in a pan. And they're really good. They're good to munch on and snack on, and it really balances out all the liquids that comes with the ceviche. food that we have in Peru is the purple corn. There's a picture of it over here. And the purple corn is actually used to make two different things, a drink and a dessert. Which is weird, you don't really think of making a drink out of corn or a dessert out of corn. But made with the right ingredients, it tastes really good. The purple corn, if you take it and you boil it with some pineapples, add some cloves and cinnamon, you get what we call chicha morada, which is a purple drink. It tastes really good. You can taste the pineapple. You boil it, let it sit overnight, pour some sugar, stir it up, and then you drink it cold. It's really good. And the dessert that we make with the purple corn is the mazamorra. The dessert is between a jello and a pudding, and it tastes really sweet, very much like a drink. It's made with cinnamon and cloves and a bunch of other spices. In Peru, we mostly focus on lunch. Breakfast is early in the morning, about 7 to 9 in the morning, and it's really light. Usually just bread and butter with ham or jelly, and then tea and coffee. Sometimes you can have pastries. But the main focus is lunch. That is your biggest meal, and lunch goes from 1 to 3. Typically, the food served with lunch is going to be your beefs, your fish, and your chicken. Some popular dishes is going to be the lomo saltado, which is beef steak, and it is actually stir-fried in a pan with onions and tomatoes. It's really good the way it's made. It's served over top of white rice and then French fries. It's actually one of my favorite meals. My mom makes it very often at home. Another popular dish is just going to be pollo a la brasa, which is roasted chicken. It's really good the way it is cooked and all the flavors that are in the chicken. And it is typically served just chicken, part of the chicken that you'd like. I prefer chicken breast, with rice and a salad and then fries. It's a pretty big meal. Other kinds of lunch food that you would eat would be arroz chaufa, which is kind of like our take on Chinese food. So it's fried rice with your veggies, your egg, your chickens. It's really good. We don't put much sauces on it, but it's really good to eat fast on the go. And now on to Greek food. Chad.
Thank you. Alright, the whole Peruvian food thing isn't your ideal meal, then I have Greek culture. This is one of my favorite cultures and foods to eat. Just some fun facts about the Greek culture. There are 3 climates: Alpine, Temperate, and Mediterranean, which I think is pretty cool because you're in one country, but you got 3 different climates throughout the whole country. And Greece actually has the lowest crime rate in Europe, so it's really a safe place to go to and safe to bring your kids to. The Greek culture has the richest language in the world. And then no point in Greece is more than 85 miles away from the sea, which I really like because I like the beach, like the sea. Some more facts about Greece. Greek's currency, the drachma, is more than 2,650 years old before it was adopted the euro in 2001. So that's pretty old, and they just recently updated that. They receive tourism that doubles the population. So if you guys already thought we had enough tourists here, just imagine they're in Greece. They're just packed with tourists. Greece is the most sexually active country in the world. That's just a fun fact I thought I'd throw in there. Some popular Greek dishes. This is actually my favorite, gyro or gyro. It's made with lamb, warm pita bread, the tzatziki sauce, which is kind of like a sour cream sauce. I don't know. I like it. It's really tasty and rich. The baklava. Baklava is the best dessert you'll ever eat. It has the phyllo dough stacked with honey, nuts, and cinnamon. And there's different ways to make it, and usually with the honey. It makes it just so sweet and rich, and it's very good. And then the pita bread, that's popular there, and that's why I brought you guys some pita chips to try out. And on to the Japanese culture. Chips.
Hi. It's a little bit difficult to explain Japanese food because it is very complex. Because after World War II, like a Western food culture coming to the Japan, and we mix with the Japanese food and Western culture. But I try to show Japanese food culture while introducing some popular Japanese dishes. So yakitori is pieces of chicken grilled on the bamboo square. Yakitori is usually served with pretty sweet teriyaki sauce or simply salt and lemon. And it basically Japanese people buy a yakitori or eat it at the yakitori bar. Also, we usually eat it with beer, such as in the United States, fried chicken with beer. So, for example, at night, daddy eat yakitori and drink beer while watching baseball game. I'm rooting for his favorite team or win. And nabe is one of Japanese traditional food. Nabe can be called as the pride of Japan, and if we visit Japan during winter season, you can eat nabe. And this is also a household food. So in winter we usually eat with families and my family, and it helps us to concrete friendship, friendships. Okonomiyaki. This is come from originate from Osaka. It is the west side area in Japan. So actually, the okonomiyaki is like a very new food. So it's also called modern yaki. Modern means like very new. And also it's very cheap because okonomiyaki is like a kind of Japanese omelette. Yeah, so and we usually put on the slice the beef or slice pork and put on the sauce, special sauce. So and tonkatsu, yeah, tonkatsu. This is like deep fried pork with a special sauce, and we usually eat. We sometimes eat before competition because katsu means victory in English. So, my mother or my father wish to win the competition, then they serve the tonkatsu. Yeah, Japanese curry. Do you know, as you know, like curry is from India, but in mid-era, about 100 years ago, England introduced us Indian curry, and we tried to customize for cooking easily. So this is become our like household food. And each family has like a own curry taste. So if you eat like 10 Japanese families, maybe the curry is totally different. Origi is a soul food. So, hamburger is American soul food, so origi is Japanese soul food. Origi is made from rice, so we also call rice bowl. And this is we usually eat at the lunch time because it's easy to bring and easy to eat. Also, if you go to Japan, maybe you can see at the convenience store such as 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. So, and actually we can eat only with salt, but origi usually we put in some something like meboshi or salmon, grilled salmon. And ramen, yeah, this is my most favorite food. If I talk about this, maybe it takes 1 hour, but I'll try to explain. Ramen is actually from China, so this is Chinese noodle. But we love ramen, so we customize and we change the ramen. So this is hottest food in Japan nowadays. So if you go to Japan, you can see many ramen restaurants. Also, we consume ramen after drinking because I don't know why, but maybe we want to get like some salty food, so we go to a ramen restaurant and eat. And takoyaki is it's also originated from Osaka. This is this shape is a kind of meatball, and inside is octopus. We used to eat takoyaki like snacks, so it's very cheap. 10 pieces of takoyaki is about you can buy $1. So some students after school, they buy takoyaki and eat and go home. Sushi, I think sushi, but actually sushi is not only like so sushi has actually many kind of sushi. So like nigiri sushi, chirashi, temaki sushi, inari sushi. So what we have to say sushi. So actually sushi is used sushi rice, meaning vinegar rice. So if food is used of like a vinegar rice, we call this is sushi. So, on to the American culture.
So, I don't know about all you guys, but all that food sounds really good. Let's move on to America. What does everybody think when you think of American culture food? I think about McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell. That's what people think of when you think about America. Which one are you guys craving today? I'm sure everybody in here has a personal preference of which fast food place you like to eat at. It's likely that, everybody here likes all the tasty options that you have on the menu. But I'm here to spread some of the cold hard truth about our wonderful restaurants that we have here in America. As of 2012, there were about 264,000 fast food establishments in America, and with a combined revenue of over $100 billion annually. When we think about fast food, we think about McDonald's. You know, when you go to McDonald's, you want to get, you know, chicken nuggets, or maybe it's morning time, you want to go get yourself sausage, egg, and cheese. Well, something that you might not know about these eggs is it's not your normal eggs that are just cracked over the stove and whipped up in the frying pan. These eggs are, they have something called a premium egg blend, which contains stuff such as glycerin, which is a solvent found in soap and shaving cream that we use in our everyday lives. They also have something called dimethylpolysiloxane. That is a silicone that can be found in silly putty or clay. America's busy lifestyles make a deal with the fast food market, and there's about 50 million Americans that eat fast food every day. There was a poll that was done, and it says that about 8 out of every 10 people eat at a fast food establishment at least twice a month. And half of those people admitted to eating there weekly. So, to move on from the breakfast food, if you look at such meals like the chicken nuggets and the french fries, chicken nuggets are made with a meat processor that actually grinds up the bones and leftover chicken carcasses all into one big meat pile, and then they just take that and put it into a nugget shaped and then bread it up and fry it. And, you know, if that's what you're like, or, you know, if that's not what you get when you go to McDonald's, if you're the type of person who prefers a salad, even, you know, a normal side salad is dusted with something called propylene glycol, and that's to keep the lettuce crisp. Propylene glycol is also found in antifreeze and sexual lubricant. If you like Taco Bell, you know, the meat comes in a pre-packaged plastic wrap, and during 2011, there was many claims against Taco Bell that only 36% of their meat was actual beef. And I don't know about you guys, but 36% out of 100 isn't that much at all. And, you know, even if you don't eat at any of these establishments, if you're the pizza type of person, even such places as Papa John's, they also have been under investigation for, you know, their slogan, better pizza, better ingredients, we are Papa John's. A writer for the U.S. News named Melanie Warner had actually tried getting a hold of an employee at Papa John's and asking him what's exactly in your ingredients. The employee told her to go ahead and call the supervisor, the manager of the restaurant. And she tried calling, and they then forwarded her on to, you know, the head corporate person and told her to leave a message. She called several times, left several messages, never got any calls back. So, you know, if you're going to go ahead and think about getting something for lunch, I prefer you take one of these wonderful options that all my peers have offered you, or at least, you know, maybe go home and cook yourself a burger on the grill. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat chicken bones and chicken carcasses. So now I'm going to hand it over to Alex, and he's going to finish you off.
If it hasn't persuaded you about McDonald's enough yet, we have a clip from the movie Super Size Me, which shows you exactly what McDonald's would do to your body if you just eat it every day for an extended period of time.
Is fast food really that bad for you?
I mean, what would happen if I ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight?
I knew if I was going to do this, I would need some serious medical supervision.
The blood tests were Alex. Blood tests were 168. This is for terms of your salts in your blood, your kidney function, your liver function.
chickens that can no longer lay eggs, McNuggets are now made from chickens with unusually large breasts. They're stripped from the bone and ground up into a sort of chicken mash, which is then combined with all sorts of stabilizers and preservatives, pressed into familiar shapes, breaded, deep-fried, freeze-dried, and then shipped to a McDonald's near you. Judge Robert Sweet called them a McFrankenstein creation of various elements not utilized by the home cook.
There's been a new thing, and I've started to have like some chest, not chest pains, but like pressure. I feel like I got pressure on my chest, so I figure that's probably not a good thing.
Can I get the double quarter pounder with cheese, value meal?
I don't feel good today. Not that I feel sick, but I just feel really depressed. You know, for no reason. I mean, things are going great. We've had a good day. I just feel really, yeah. I got my chicken group.
There's no chicken group.
That's my cholesterol group.
Protein.
I got my protein group.
Carbohydrates.
I got my meat group.
You got meat, sugar, and fat.
My headache's coming back again. Feels like something yanking on the tendons behind my eyes.
My body officially hates me.
All the vitamins that you see here, vitamin E, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and so on, are all under 50% of what you need.
The total test was 165 before, now it's 225. The liver is sick, and the most likely cause of your liver sickness is a fatty liver. My advice to you is to stop doing what you're doing because it's hurting you.
I woke up and couldn't breathe. I was having really difficulty breathing. Very hot. And felt like I was having heart palpitations. Came up and was trying to get my breath back. And I want to finish, but don't want anything bad to happen either.
Absolutely outrageous. I mean, for the first time we're seeing uric acid elevators, so you're giving yourself hyperuricemia, and the danger of hyperuricemia is gout, kidney stones. The results for your liver are obscene beyond anything I would have thought.
Yeah.
Two.
This month, I'll eat as much McDonald's as most nutritionists say you're supposed to eat in 8 years. Oh, man. Walking down the stairs, God. It's starting to get really difficult. By the time I get to the top, it's really pathetic. Over the course of my life, I consume 30 pounds of sugar from that food. That's a pound a day. On top of that, I also took in 12 pounds of fat. In only 30 days of eating nothing but McDonald's, I gained 24.5 pounds. My liver turned to fat, and my cholesterol shot up 65 points. My body fat percentage went from 11 to 18%, still below the national average of 22% for men and 30% for women. I nearly doubled my risk of coronary heart disease, making myself twice as likely to have heart failure. I felt depressed and exhausted most of the time. My mood swung on a dime, and I craved this food more and more when I ate it, and got massive headaches when I didn't. In my final blood test, many of my body functions showed signs of improvement, but the doctors were less than optimistic.
Should people eat fast food?
No, you know, the answer is no.
It certainly needs to be very restricted and balanced with overall healthy diet.
But unfortunately, you also need to harm to your heart and your rooted blood.
I guess the big question is, who do you want to see go first? You or them?
So in conclusion, foods around the world are very different. It would seem that American culture is by far the most different, and not in a positive way. And as a result of American diet, America has a much higher obesity rate. The worldwide obesity rate is 7%, while in America it's 25%. Also, prediabetes, about 35% of Americans have prediabetes. Over 10% have diabetes. And of that 10% of Americans, 30% of that 10%, so like 3.3%, have no idea that they have diabetes. and they just eat the diet that everyone else eats here, and they really have no clue that it's bad for them. So I would recommend that we probably just try to start learning from other cultures more than just relying on our own culture that's sort of failed us. We also have food from all the cultures mentioned, and we have McDonald's. So I'm gonna eat McDonald's still. It's up to you.